Scream news. Scream 6. Scream, whatever it's going to be called. The working titles have been horrible.
I can think of worse titles for worse Scream sequels.
But can you, though?
I don't want to outright tease someone.
Because, dude, wasn't it like Scream and it had like the 2 exclamation marks at the end of it for a second? And like, dumb. And then it was like, now it's like Scream and the M makes up like the Roman numeral of like the 6. Yeah. And I'm like, so it's still titled Scream. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have Scream last year and then Scream again this year, and all it is just the color of the M is changed to make the Roman numerals because you're still pronouncing it Scream. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a better title.
Scream 6.
Look, it's set in New York. There are so many titles you could use. You know what I mean? Like, Ghostface Takes Manhattan. So, with that, let's bring up the Scream news. And this is some imagery. Now, this is not new news. It's been out for a couple of weeks, but I wanted to talk about it anyway because I forgot to talk about it last episode. I don't know if you've seen this photo, Alanis, but I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah.
What do we see Scream? What do we see Ghostface holding?
That is different. Like
that is a shotgun. Now, the other thing is, what do you see the mask looking like?
Very classic.
No. Yeah, very classic, but look above the eyes.
Huh.
It's dirty. It's crumbly. It's faded. It's broken. It's like the coming apart, and it's because it's the original mask from the original killers.
Uh-huh.
So, okay. What we found out is that it's set in New York. It's Halloween. Jenna Ortega's character and someone else are in this convenience store. This guy comes in with a shotgun. He's dressed as Ghostface. And we're not sure if this is Ghostface, someone dressed as Ghostface on Halloween, robbing a convenience store with a shotgun while they're in there, or if this is actually Ghostface holding a shotgun. Now, we've had many different iterations of trailers where we've seen Ghostface doing like a flamethrower in the last one and shit, and we find out that that's from the Stab movie and all this bullshit, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of questions still behind this, right? But the other image that I forgot to look up, so I'm going to quickly look it up right now, is the fact that in this movie, we have found out that there is going to be... One second. So, I've found out that in this, we have got a Ghostface museum in New York City. And this museum is in a museum that's like a broken down museum sort of thing. Like no one's there anymore. But there are all the original costumes from each killer set up in a display cabinet in an abandoned museum. And this, to me, says that we're going to have a lot of connection to the older movies. I'm trying to find the picture that was leaked for this Scream museum. I can't seem to find it. But, yeah, we got an image of, like, cabinets, glass cabinets in, like, sort of an abandoned museum with Ghostface, the costumes and the masks of Ghostface and the knives and everything. And we got someone wearing an old, decrepit-looking Scream Ghostface mask. So, what do you think this is showing us? Do you think this is showing us that this is someone from the older movies trying to recreate what they once did? Or is this a fan that's going over the top that loves the old work? Or is this more than one Ghostface because we have multiple outfits from the multiple killers over the previous entries? What do you think?
It's interesting. I almost feel like this the shotgun could almost be a misdirect, and it may just be someone robbing a convenience store. Because they had that massive misdirect with the metal mask and kind of gave the illusion of, hey, what's going on here? I reckon it might be something like that.
Well, that was the same. That was the same thing. The man mask and the flamethrower were in the same bit, so that was a full stab. I'm really hoping this isn't another misdirect, but if it's a misdirect, that's cool. But I'm hoping it's not another misdirect that is just stab, because I'm kind of getting over those. You know what I mean? Like, I almost wish there was no stab movies in this next one. Like, I don't want them to refer to those movies at all. I want this to just be let's go back to no stab, like the first movie. You know what I mean? Because there was no stab in the first one. It wasn't like they were planning on making a stab movie or anything during the first events. Like, I'm pretty sure that happened with the second one when we got the cinema scene at the start with the black couple going to see the movie, and it was like replaying the first movie events. You know what I mean? With what's her name playing Drew Barrymore. The other stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm hoping it's not a misdirect like that. And it'd be cool if it wasn't a misdirect. And we had something different. Because Ghostface uses a knife. So I don't want him to run around with a gun because I feel like that almost takes the slasher element away. But I mean, for a kill or two, or to make something pretty gory, like we've had Michael Myers like run shotguns through people's stomachs. You know what I mean? We've had him shoot people, I'm pretty sure. So it wouldn't hurt to have something different this time. But yeah, if it is a misdirect, let's hope it's a cool one and not another stab one. That's all I can say. Anything else you want to say on that? Because I think that we're getting closer to Scream. It's set in New York around Halloween time. It's got a really cool setting. Like, is there anything you're hoping for? Is there anything you're not hoping for? What?
I'm hoping they don't screw the pooch. I hope this is good. Because the last one was really good. And it would be unfortunate to let it go by the wayside again.
Definitely. I'm really hoping we don't get a Scream 3. But you know what I'm really hoping we get? What everyone wants.
Corey.
Stu.
Yes.
We got Billy. Last one. Spoiler alert. Yeah, we got Billy in a sort of lame way. Like, it was okay for the first time that they did it, but then the second time and shit, like when he was like sort of like helping her at the end and stuff, it was a little bit cheesy. I'm hoping that they can bring Stu back in a real capacity where it's not someone seeing something or imagining things or has like a spirit of them following him around. Like, remember, in Scream 1, we didn't get a definitive death for Stu. Like, the last thing we saw of Stu was her push the TV on his head, him get electrocuted by this TV, and it cut. And I don't know, I'm sure that was meant to be like, this cunt's dead, because that was a pretty fucking full on. It's pretty full on. He's like being stabbed multiple times by Billy. You know what I mean? Like, then he gets TV dropped on his head. I'd say that's pretty finale. Like, you're dead. But then again, we never got to see the dead body. So I feel like they could bring him back, and everybody wants that. Every Scream fan that's what they want, and I know that because of reading up on so much stuff. Like, it's what you want, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And what do you think that this is going to be a new trilogy? Do you think we're going to get a Scream 7?
At this rate, if this one's well received, I think we will. I can't see them stopping if this one does well.
Me either. And what are your thoughts on Nev Campbell not being in this one, but already in talks to be in the next one?
I don't really mind that she's not there. She didn't have a big part. Like the last movie, she wasn't really there either. She was in the very start, then the very end. That movie could have functioned perfectly well without her. So, I mean, I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact not having her there. If anything, leaning away from the legacy characters a little bit and letting the newer characters kind of expand, for want of a better term, I think is good.
I'm so happy to see they're bringing back like Kirby
Yeah, that's another. Now that they've got this weird kind of thing where Scream 4, like she's almost like a legacy character in her own right, and they're bringing her back in.
I love
Um,
her in Scream 4, man, and
yeah,
I love her as a character as well. So
absolutely. I'm glad to see her back, and I think that also that makes up for, if not, is better than having Nev Campbell there. Like,
now, another question I have: do you think we're gonna get a Dewey O'Reilly cameo similar to how we got a Randy cameo in Scream 3, even though he was dead?
I reckon we might. I reckon we might.
Because I've heard that there are hints towards a Dewey O'Reilly cameo in it, and I
And do
wouldn't
you
be
think they
surprised if
do?
he did the same thing where he left the video behind. You know what I mean?
Do you think if we do get one, you'll hear do 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 do?
100%. It wouldn't be a Dewey O'Reilly scene without it. What I really hope though is, I don't know if you remember the trailer. We watched it many times from the originals, like the newer Scream that came out, the latest one. How we got a lot of stuff in that trailer that looked fucking awesome, and sort of didn't go the way we thought. Like, you know how like it was like Dewey O'Reilly being like, something about this just feels different about this one, you know, and it wasn't that much different to what we'd had in the past. And there was that cool imagery of like Ghostface's shadow while he was like standing like this against the wall, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like the shadow of him, and it's just like that wasn't in the movie and stuff. And it's like I want Scream to go the next mile and have that sort of stuff in it and make it really theatrical. But I also want it to have more kills, and I want Ghostface to be more brutal than ever in this movie, because after what we got with Halloween Ends, I need something to make up for that. Because that movie can fuck right off.
Yes.
Dude, I I still think about that movie daily. And I still get mad about it. I was just talking to my dad about it today. It still gets me that upset. I can't believe it, man. So, anyways,
Yes.
let's move on, because if Ghostface lets us down next year, you know what? All slasher movies can get fucked.